Hello children, today we are going to do the last topic of the second chapter, Indian Economy 1950 to 1990. We all know that on the eve of independence, India was ruined economy, was stagnant, and it was a backward nation. So the government set up a planning commission, and 5-year plans were made. In the first 5-year plan, agriculture was taken into consideration as it was the need of the hour to promote progress agriculture sector. And for that, the government made a number of policies and incentives were given. In the same way, in the second 5-year plan, that is 1956 to 1961, great emphasis was given for industrial development. A large number of industries set up in this during this period, like Rourkela Steel Factory, Durgapur Steel Factory, then Chittaranjan locomotives, and many more heavy industries were taken care during this period. Why when India got independence, there were just few industries. There were some cotton textile industries and jute industries or jute mills which were well developed, and there were just two iron and steel industry, one in Jamshedpur and other in Kolkata, Kulti in Kolkata. Now, what are the benefits of industrialization? Why the government felt that industries should be taken care of? So the benefits are: industrialization leads to increase in GDP or national income, per capita income. It provides increased avenues for employment, enables diversification of markets, provide infrastructure like roads, railways, power generation, education institution, healthcare facilities, etc. Then it helps in earning foreign exchange by exporting the finished products to different countries. Then they promote regional imbalance, promote regional balance or eradicates imbalance, helps modernization of agriculture, key to high level of export, leads to self-sustainable development. You know what is sustainable development? It is development without damaging the environment and taking care of natural resources judiciously. Then growth of civilization, it means industrial civilization, and improved standard of living, urbanization, etc., etc. So for this, the government decided that what are the roles that has to be played by the public sector and what role will be played by the private sector. So at the time of independence, the policymakers decided the role of public sector, that is government, and the private sector in the industrial development. Public sector work for the welfare of the country, whereas the private sector work for the growth of GDP. And why public and private? Because India adopted a mixed economy where both public and private sector played role in country's development. So there was a need for leading role of the public sector, and the reasons were first, shortage of capital with the private sector. Only Tata and Birla were the well-known entrepreneurs at that time. As a result, the government had to make industrial investment through public sector undertakings. Lack of incentives for public sector. Even though some had capital, but there was limited market and there was low demand for industrial goods. That is why they were not taking the risk to invest huge amount in setting up large industries. Then the objective was social welfare. Objectives of equity and social welfare could be achieved only through direct participation of the government in the process of industrialization. Now, what is equity? Equity means everyone should get what they need. It's not equal distribution of income or equal distribution of resources. It is everyone must get what they need. For this, industrial policy revolution started, and we are going to do industrial policy revolution 1956. Before this, there was industrial revolution policy of 1948. But this is important because major changes were made in this policy. What is industrial policy? Industrial policy covers rules, regulations, principles, policies, and procedures laid down by the government for regulating and controlling the government, controlling industrial undertakings in a country. It also describes the respective roles of public, private, joint, cooperative, whether it is large scale or medium scale or small scale sectors for the development of industry. So it is taking care of the complete package of how the industries need to be promoted. It incorporates fiscal, monetary, tariff, and labor policies also. What is fiscal? Fiscal means dealing with income and expenditure. Monetary is related to the central bank, that is inflation and money supply. So these were the reasons. This is all about industrial policy. Now, IPR, or Industrial Policy Resolution 1956, was introduced in the second five-year plan, which I've already told about it, which was based on industrial development. This plan was purely based on socialistic pattern. That means what is good for the society or what society require, and not on the basis of what people want. Under this, the industries were classified or reclassified into three categories. Schedule A, 17 industries were taken care, exclusively owned and controlled by the government, like power generation, arms and ammunition, then atomic power, railways, etc. And then in the second schedule, that is Schedule B, 12 industries were there, and initiative was taken by the government and supplemented by the privates. In this, you find aluminum and other mining centers or industries, then fertilizers, etc. The third category is taken as is Schedule C. The remaining industries were all under private sector, but were controlled by the government through licensing. Now, what is licensing? Licensing is written permission from the government. Industrial licensing were required for setting up new industry, for expansion of the existing one, and diversification of products. According to licensing, no industry was allowed to set up unless a license is obtained. It was easy to get license in the remote or backward area, and they were also given some concession and benefits like tax benefit, electricity at low rate, or bank loans at low rate of interest, etc. License for expansion and diversification of goods were given only when the government was convinced that there is a need for larger quantities of goods in the country. When government was convinced, then only the license was given to them. Now, besides this, there was a set of industries called small-scale industries. A small-scale industry is defined with reference to the maximum investment allowed on the assets of a unit. This limit has been changed from 5 lakhs in 1950 to the present limit of 1 crore. And it was very important because this industries, small-scale industries, generate employment. It is labor intensive and generate more employment than any other industry, any other set of industries. So after agriculture, small-scale industries provide employment to the largest number of people in India. So these industries need to be protected from big firms because they cannot compete with big firms, and for this the government has taken certain steps to protect their growth. So to protect them from industrial firms, big industrial firms, and for this the government reserved certain products. That is called, the first point is reservation of products, and second is various concessions were given like lower excise duty, bank loans at low rate of interest, then electricity at low charge, these were some of the facilities given. That's all for industries. In the next module, we are going to do about the trade. Thank you.